Thank you so much, Bill and Marilyn. Beautiful introduction this morning. And welcome all you beautiful people on the other side of the camera, and all of those you who are here smiling with me this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. We teach science of mind so that we can all live better lives and contribute to a world that works for everyone. I am practitioner Greg Gardner. We would not be able to bring this Sunday service to you without the service of numerous volunteers, from our practitioners and sound and technician people, our wonderful people on the camera, serving in the bookstore, and many others that I can't remember to name right now. But thanks to all who serve this morning for this service. We have practitioners on High Watch, Marilyn O'Leary and Carol Helms doing High Watch for us. Our talk today is delivered by Yvette Trujillo, my good friend Yvette Trujillo, and is titled All Creatures, Great and Small. Please join me this morning in reading our vision and mission statements. That'll be on the screen momentarily. There we go. Vision, transforming our world with the power of love and action. Mission, loving and creation through spiritual growth and service, always staying true to our highest self. And now an invocation by Talia.
Well, now you have to hear me since I have this in my hand, right, Susan? Okay, so welcome to everyone again. Yes, and as these lights dim, may that chatter in our minds and our just spirits just dim a little, so we can move into that quietness of our souls, that quietness where we hear Spirit speak when we pay attention and we listen. And in that quietness, we know the oneness and we know our truth. And it is that truth that speaks loud to us, even in the silence. For there, we can know the difference between appearances and truth. And our consciousness comes forward. And we know that all is one, all is good, and all is love. And in that spirit of allness and goodness and love, we open this service here today at the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living for All. And we move into that center and we open to what is. And I ask you to please say with me, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Talia. Our reading this morning is one some of you may have heard before, but it is so beautiful, I'd like to read it again. It's the experience of a young fighter pilot who flew in the Battle of Britain in 1940, who was later killed. His name is John Gillespie McGee, and this is his experience of Creator. It's called High Flight. Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the sky on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, where never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God. And so now we have some more music coming from the Secret Seven.
Ready. The rain is falling through the mist of sorrow that surrounded me. The sun could melt the fog away, the mist that may surround me. Let it rain, let it rain, let your love rain down on me. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain, rain, rain. My life was like a desert flower burning in the sun, until I found the way to love. This heart was sad and done. Let it rain, let it rain, let your love rain down on me. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain, rain, rain. And now I know the secret there. It needs that I do lack. And if I give my love to you, be sure to give it back. Let it rain, let it rain, let your love rain down on me. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain, rain, rain. Yes.
Thank you so much. Excellent. All right. Good morning, everybody. It's my privilege and honor to introduce our guest speaker today. And one of the reasons it's a privilege and honor is because I had to be introduced to her in order to introduce her. Earlier this week, I got a call that Reverend Tammy was scheduled to be here, wasn't going to be able to come. And so I mentioned it in front of someone, and I heard, Yvette. And so I said, well, okay, it's a good idea. So I called Yvette. She graciously agreed. And every other person that has seen the announcement has said, oh, good, Yvette. So apparently she's famous here. So doesn't need a lot of introduction. But what I've learned about Yvette is that she's really all about loving kindness and compassion in the world and bringing that forth. And that she is a practitioner, becoming a minister, probably already is. And we just are grateful that she's here with us today. Thank you. Come forth, Yvette.
Thank you. Good morning. What an introduction. Wow. Hold on just a second. I have not seen your beautiful faces in quite some time. I'm just taking it in, loving myself up in your beauty. Oh my gosh. Well, we have some things that we're talking about here. Some important things. I have an important thing like my timer because I have a tendency to talk too much. I say a lot of things. Practitioners, my wife says practitioners, they know that the word is powerful, and so they like to use them all. That is true for me. I am that way. So let's get down to it, shall we? We are following our global themes, which for this year, living everyday wonder is the theme for the year. Living everyday wonder. And we've been exploring different aspects of life in which we can step into the idea of how might we experience everyday wonder from here, right? So in this month of August, we are looking at nature. Oh my goodness, right? I know nature is my muse. I love nature. If any of you ever heard me pray, there's a lot of nature and grass and flowers and sky and clouds and sunsets and nebula and all kinds of things. I love it. And particularly this week, we're talking about our partners on the journey, our creatures great and small. And I've been very blessed. I grew up on a farm, and so I had, pigs and chickens and cows and rabbits and lots of goats. We even had a Shetland pony that kicked me off regularly. And on this farm that I grew up on, it was really far from anybody. And so I grew up kind of by myself, and I spent a lot of time outside just trying to get in trouble so somebody would pay attention to me. So nature, yes, nature. And I have been blessed not only with the animals that I got to walk along my early journey with, but I have had many little fuzzy partners on this road. In particular, right now, I have my old man, Pignon, who is getting more stubborn by the day. He's like, I am done with the rules. I'm old. You just let me do whatever I want to do. And we kind of do. And then there's Willow, who's my little tiny Chihuahua corgi who's got some little damage and she's scared of everything. And then we got our newest, Ginger Grant, who's big and doesn't know she's big. It's a lot of fun. I have a little house. But as I started to think about the blessings that I get, I personally have experienced by my interactions with the beautiful animal world and our beautiful experience of nature, I started to reflect on this idea of a world that works for everyone. Right? We talk about that all the time. It is our goal, our vision, probably a mission somewhere in there. I'm not sure where it stands in the order of how we declare this, but we are knowing a world that works for everyone, and I would dare say that it is for everything, and then I would dare say that it is for every living thing, right? That we are knowing of a world that works for every living thing. Every time I say that, it just, yes. And then I thought, let me reflect on that. What's it looking like today? Oh. And then I went to that heavy space that I've grown very familiar with in the last few years, several years. The heavy place of looking at this idea of a world that works for everyone, and then what the experience is now. So I look at it socially, politically, internally, right? Individually, we're suffering a pandemic of loneliness and of depression and anxiety. And then particularly for today, to reflect on how are we doing environmentally? How are we doing in the natural world? And, it's kind of a bummer because we do talk about this a lot because that's the truth of what is right in this moment. That's what we're experiencing and we're all living through it. And so I wanted to be relevant. Like I could just talk about Pino and he's so cute and he goes to the sun and it's great and that would be lovely. But what I know is that when I thought about a world that works for everyone and thought about the natural world and thought about all those beautiful creatures that we have the blessing of walking this planet with, my heart broke, right? My heart broke because I can turn on the news and look at the ice caps melting and polar bears starving and dying and the giant island of trash in the ocean. And my heart breaks. And I want to share with you an experience that I had a couple of years ago. Maybe, honestly, I can't tell you how far ago it was. But I was in one of these heart spaces, and on the news, they started to reveal that the women that were coming over the border and that were being held were then being taken somewhere else to get hysterectomies, to no longer have children without their understanding what was happening. And that moment for me, to know that these Mexican women, as a Latina, what motherhood means, what it means to us, how vital it is, and for that to have been stolen from these Mexican women just crushed me. And I remember going outside in my backyard and standing there, and it's dark, but I just see this carpet of stars, and I shake my fist at God. What the heck is going on? And what is mine to do? I have been asking and asking and asking, what is mine to do in the midst of all of this? And it was overwhelming. And the same feeling has occurred again and again and again over the last few years, that intense sense of overwhelm of what is mine to do. And I know I'm doing some things when I'm thinking about the environment, right? Like I recycle, I sort my trash, I even sort my glass and I take it to the recycling bin because I don't pick it up here. I try and consume less, and when I consume, I try not to get plastic, I try to get glass or cardboard. Even when I get soda, which isn't often, but when I get soda, those rings that hold it together, I make sure before I throw that thing away, I'm cutting each and every one of those loops, because I saw one time as a little kid how one of those got caught on a seal when it was a baby, and then it grew and it was, I don't want that to be me. So I do that. I send money sometimes to organizations that are doing good work in the world. But really, starving animals, trash islands in the ocean. What else? What else can I do? And so shaking my fist up at heaven, at like God, really? It's old habit. God, you over there. It felt too big. and I felt helpless. And then, out of my prayer, out of my journaling, out of my brokenheartedness came this realization that was so precious to me. And that is that those of us that are blessed to know about this work, about this philosophy, about the science of mind, we know a thing or two about making a difference in the world. And we have the powerful technology right in our hands. If you've been here for any length of time, you have the technology right in your hand. If you just showed up today, if you just clicked in today, get ready. Because this is some powerful stuff. So, Science of Mind has been teaching us about our relationship to the world and our inner life, that there is an interconnectedness, that when I change my thinking, my focus, my attention, my life experience changes, right? I have a new perspective. I didn't create anything. Like, I could now see the truth of something else. And what we do in here, to change our thought back, 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 that is powerful work. Powerful work. And what we do in here has an impact on out here, and it has an impact on out there. No question. This month in our Science of Mind magazine, which if you know me, I'm a pusher of the Science of Mind magazine. I think it's fantastic. So, like, almost on purpose, I have to do it, although it worked out quite by chance. David Alexander has a monthly contribution. Reverend Dr. David Alexander, let's give him his props because he's a pretty cool dude. He writes the monthly column that follows the contribution from Ernest Holmes, and he breaks it down, which is super helpful for me because sometimes, love you, Ernie, but what? So he says, we are a microcosm of the world, and as such, we do not need to understand how to solve world problems. We only need to be willing to understand our own. Now I got to be honest. When I say that, there's a part of me that's like, really? Like, shouldn't I be doing more? Because knowing something. Well, if you're called to something else, do it. Yes, if there's something that is pulling you to do something, to march, to picket, to start your own nonprofit, to do that work, yes, hallelujah, do it. We need you. And if you have this philosophy in the palm of your hand, use it. There are different puzzle pieces in this beautiful picture that we have. And we need all the different shapes. We need all the different contributions. So, I say, really? Is that it? And if y'all have been here and done this work, this ain't easy. Right? Okay, for some people, it's easy. And it can be easy. There's a potential for easiness. I'm catching you, Greg. I hear you. It doesn't have to be hard. And my experience has been that transforming my thoughts and solving my problems by understanding my own has been somewhat challenging up until now. Oh, my Lord. We've been prayer partners for a long time. So it's not easy for a lot of people. It does take a lot of work to transform your thinking, habitual thought patterns that you have held since you were wee, that just kind of run you, and you're not really actually aware that they're running you. To shift those thought patterns is something profound. So we only need to be willing to understand our own. That's a big deal. Let me read you a quote, also from the Science of Mind magazine. Maxime Legacy. I think is how it's said. By discovering nature, you discover yourself, right? I go to nature, my muse. Oh, show me, reveal to me my genius and my beauty. Yes. And we are all one. We are one life. We are all connected. We have this illusion of separation, right? This distinction, which is really fun to play with on this planet. Woo, look at that. You got that hair and you're wearing that shirt and you show up this way and you said, what? I would never say that. It's actually quite fun. But what we know, what we study, and what we practice here is that knowing of our oneness, right? So if I can discover myself in nature, so by discovering nature, you discover yourself, the reciprocal of that must be true if we're all one. And so then, changing a word here or there, by healing ourselves, we heal nature. I gave myself goosebumps. By healing ourselves through our interconnectedness, we heal nature. That quote was by Yvette Trujillo. So the question is, what needs to be healed, right? What are we seeing in the world? When we look out at the environment, when we look at animals, when we have our hearts broken, what is it that we're seeing that isn't working? And we want to investigate that. So if I look at the planet and see the things that are breaking my heart, if I whittle it down, the way that I see it, even though I am a religious scientist, I am a practitioner, I'm a ministerial student, I see evil. I feel like it's evil. It hurts me. And it hurts me as a practitioner to say, that looks evil. And what is anything but a manifestation of our thoughts? The thoughts that we are holding in our mind. So evil, we can make it mean all kinds of things. It's a thought come to form. Let's have another one. Let's have another thought. And if what we can do is to identify, if I'll just use my example, identifying that this is an experience that I'm having that I'm seeing as evil, and that when I break it down further, that evil is merely a manifestation of the idea of separation from source. When we think that we are separate from, when we think that we are on our own, when we think there's not enough, when we think that we're not enough, then what begins to manifest out of that sense of not enoughness is anger and resentment and frustration. And I got to get mine, and you're trying to take mine. I'm going to keep you away from mine, and I'm making more, and you're making less. That's kind of one of the ways that it can show up. But it's an idea. It's a thought of separation from source. And y'all, we've got like PhDs in thought. We've got this work. We've got the key. And if we have a sense of upset, of frustration, of shaking our fist about some of the things that are happening on this planet right now, we're talking about nature and animals, then I invite you to consider that what we are being called to do is to shift our own thoughts of knowing and recognizing our connection to source. We know it, even if sometimes we forget it. We know that we're one. We know that we're connected to that divine life, power, and presence. We demonstrate that in our lives all the time. And if you haven't yet, look around you. I know a lot of these people, and I know that they have demonstrated that. So if you're feeling that tension, then for real, like it's our responsibility. Let us begin to hold in our consciousness for the purpose of transforming the world by our own little bitty selves, transforming our own sense of separation wherever it may occur. And know that you're not only transforming your own experience, but call into your conscious awareness that you are transforming the darn world. You're changing it. You're shifting it because we're holding another thought. Another thought. So ask yourself, where's my attention? Is it lack and separation? Sometimes when you're watching the news, when you're scrolling through your news feed, I have that experience sometimes. Or can we shift into focusing our attention on the truth of our unlimited potential for good, for the whole planet, for every living thing? Again, a quote from Reverend Dr. David Alexander. I started to write it and then it was too long. He says, "This is more than mere positive thinking. For the positive construction of thoughts of peace, justice, and harmony must by their definitions lead to the destruction of thoughts of lack, limitation, and injustice. As such, all forms of otherness that do not contribute to a world that works for everyone cannot be sustained without the thoughts that formed them. They begin to simply fall away." Sometimes that looks a little messy, y'all. You notice a mess outside in this world? I declare that we have been doing our work and that we might continue to do so that we will all know, our children will all know, our grandchildren will all know, a world that works for every living thing. Let's pray. In this space of deep gratitude, I can feel my heart pounding and know that there is blood coursing through my veins, and that through each and every heartbeat, each cell that is floating and feeding and nourishing my body, that the vibration of the Most High is right in the middle of it. It is in the marrow of my bones. It is in the bark of my puppy dogs. God is all there is. God is right here and right now. No question. And I know that from that place of absolute certainty that I have, of that presence of spirit right here and right now, flowing through each and every person here, through your heartbeat, through your blood coursing through your veins, every person that is watching online, that the truth is that we are individualized, beautiful expressions of that spirit of life, of that source. And that as these beautiful expressions of that one life, I know that there is a powerful thing moving between us, among us, within us. And that is an embracing of the power that each of us has. An embracing and a welcoming of the ability that each one of us has to shift the world from the shifting of our thought. It's a simple truth. It's good work. And I know that there is an inspiration that is bubbling up for a transformation of the world to one that is more loving, more kind, more compassionate, and indeed is that beautiful, realized, manifest vision of a world that works for every living thing. And so I know that any restless hearts that have been hurting, that have been struggling with this idea of what is mine to do, what is mine to do, what is mine to do, that there is a light bulb and a waking up of desire and hope. And for this beautiful hope, this powerful intention, and this magnificent process of science of mind and affirmative prayer, I am so deeply grateful. I'm so deeply grateful to be gifted with this wisdom. And so from a place of complete confidence and joyful expectation, I release my word, my powerful word. I release it into the law, knowing that it cannot return to me void, knowing that there's a manifestation of that which we have intended. And so it is.
And so it is. Amen. Thank you so much, Yvette, for that beautiful, beautiful message this morning. Yeah, give it up. Give it up. And now for those of you here who are here present and those of you who are online, we all understand more deeply why we love you, Yvette. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And just as an aside, she made reference to the now Reverend David Alexander, who 30 years ago was just a college kid sitting in the pews about 4 miles east of here in a center down the road. And he's now one of the regular contributors to our Science of Mind and a leader in our movement of science or Science of Mind. So back to the script. Now is time for us to share our abundance. There are multiple ways scrolling across the screen now. We also have baskets up here on the stage for those of you who wish to donate here. Your offerings are essential to our ministries, and we are sincerely grateful for all that you give. So please say with me the giving affirmation that will soon be on the wall. I'm abundance, and I give from my abundance. I am prosperous, and I give from my prosperity. I am blessed, and I give from my blessings. My blessings of spirit are as abundant as the stars, and so I give and receive generously. And so it is. And now for another song from the Secret Seven, Bill and Marilyn.
Children play in the park, they don't know I'm alone in the dark, even though. And time again I see your face smiling inside. I'm so happy that you love me, and life is lovely when you're near me. Tell me you will stay and make me smile. Living life is just a game, so they say. All the games we used to play fade away, and we may now enjoy the dreams we shared so long ago. Oh, my darling, I got to have you. Feel the magic when I hold you. Cry sweet tears of joy and touch the sky. Now I need you more than ever. No more crying, we're together. Tell me you will stay and make me smile.
Now, please join me as we bless these offerings that have been come to us today. O divine giver of life, we gratefully accept these and all your gifts on behalf of our congregation and its ministry. We honor each gift and giver and declare that our abundance is increased 1,000-fold. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now I'd like to welcome all the visitors here this morning, the first-time visitors most especially. Please feel free to see Carol Ann Armijo in the back. She has a flower to give you if you're a first-time visitor. And welcome to all of you who are online visiting with us there. And I invite you to join us in person. If you're a first-time visitor, you'll get a flower. So come and get it. Come and get it. Yes. Please know that we have prayer treatment available after the service. It'll be right up here within 10 feet of where I'm sitting. Practitioners in purple stoles will be here to give you practitioner some blessings and prayer. So please join us, and I'll be here. I don't have my stole on today, but please recognize that I've got a pin that I neglected to wear today. It says, "Make my day. Ask me to pray." So please do. We'd love to see you. And there are in the back some forms in the back of the chairs. They're forms to ask for prayer, and practitioners will pray over those in the coming week to help you there. So who's next? I think someone was wanting to speak next before Norm. Who wanted to speak before Norm? It was our high watcher here.
Thank you. Thank you. Just very briefly, I want to do a very important announcement. Not too long ago, we invited our own great and tall, okay, not great and small, John Kirk, to be a part of our board, and he has graciously agreed to do so. But we like to do this with the blessing of the community and the community online. We know that we feel your vibes from this, and in here, I just want to tell you that we are very fortunate to have such leadership coming into the community for us. So I think we should endorse it with a round of applause. What do you say? Thank you, John. Would you like to make a speech? All right. Hope it's a good relay. Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. Wow, Yvette. Whew. I have watched you grow over the years, and you are just growing all the time. Your talk and the way you deliver is wonderful. As a matter of fact, I'm on a path to becoming a speaker too. I hope to grow up to be a speaker like you one of these days. Secret 7, yes. Hey, you guys, love it. Great music. Okay, we got a couple of really special days today here. One is today is the last day for collecting school supplies. So if you have not donated some school supplies, today's the day to do it. This is in conjunction with our center here and A+ Academic Coaching coming together for back to school supply drive for children in an underserved elementary school. And that ends today. So if you haven't brought anything, you forgot to do it, you can drop a check off to whoever it is that collects the money, and they'll go ahead and buy those school supplies for you. And or you can donate online at the website. So be sure to do that. We stand for Ukraine, for independence and peace. Something you might want to consider doing, there's an organization called the World Central Kitchen. You go online and find out about it. But what they do is they help take care of people who can't leave. The disabled, the elderly, the injured, they're creating all kinds of food opportunities for people to eat, and also helping to rebuild damaged infrastructure. So if you want to donate to that organization, that's just one of many. World Central Kitchen. Marilyn Kirk had posted something in the newsletter saying there's something about gratitude can change your perspective by Marilyn Kirk. Yeah, I was at a conference over the weekend in Salt Lake City, and the company hosted this big old, huge opportunity for about an hour, and we had people from all over the world there at this conference. And they opened up the doors, and the people that were at the conference moved in, and they got a chance to eat a lot of food. It was a big buffet. And I was talking to one of the guys that was from Romania. I said, "Wow, look at all these people eating. Are you going to eat?" He says, "No, I'm going to wait." And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah. A lot of these people from other countries don't have an opportunity to eat on demand. And when they saw that food there, they were helping themselves to it." So one of the things that we can be grateful for, I think, is we don't recognize that we can eat on demand whenever we want in this country. We get electricity, we get up in the morning, we have fresh air and fresh water. So Gratitude Can Change Your Perspective by Marilyn Kirk. Check that out in the newsletter. We're having a great workshop here called Manifest More Money. And that's going to be facilitated by Reverend Cheryl McCreary. That starts September 1st through the 29th. Those classes are online Thursdays. And there you go, Thursdays from September 1st to the 29th. And that'll go for 5 weeks. And all the information about how much it is and all the details will be available online. Okay, great. Okay, Compassion Ministries has a little theme every single week. And this one here goes right along with what Yvette was saying. Embracing environmental stewardship. And in the quote out of the newsletter says, "We are the earth. There is no environment out there. The earth is our extended collective body," just as Yvette was talking about. Touch the earth gently, for we are all connected. Starting on Saturday, September 10th, Food Addicts in Recovery Anonymous will hold meetings Saturday here from 8:30 to 10 o'clock. And you can get more information about that organization in the newsletter. Speaking of food, we need some kitchen angels. Carol Ann provides a salad every single week. She does that. But she also needs some help with people picking up the dishes, putting them in the dishwasher, bringing some side dishes, cleaning up, all that kind of stuff. There's a sign up chart back there in the back. So if you want to sign up and donate a dish or do something like that, go ahead and put that information in there. So those angels are needed. And thank you so much, Carol Ann. You do a great job. Oh, there you go. Hey, wow, boy, this is great, man. We have all this coordinated here. Whew. Okay, reoccurring events. A Course in Miracles, or Nancy Bowers back there in the back here. Thursday, Zoom and in person, 6 to 7:30. Every Thursday, so be sure you check that out. Course in Miracles. Oh, guess what's happening August 26th? You know what August 26th is? August 26th is 4 months before Boxer Day. Also, it is practitioners Greg Gardner and Carmela Herrera are hosting, and they will be leading a discussion that's going to be provoking and engaging around September's global theme, which is work. That's right, work, W-O-R-K, work. So Labor Day is coming up too. Thought-provoking, right? And this will be at the center, 11 o'clock online. Wow, that's great. You took the words right out of my mouth. Okay, and that's it for me. Live from New Mexico, Sunday morning announcement.
Hey, wow, what a service. Thank you. And this service is powerful because you are here. Your presence is powerful. Yes, our music is beautiful. Our speaker, fabulous. But where would we be without you? So in this moment, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for your hearts. Thank you for your presence, for your beauty of spirit that knows spirit, that comes together to share in that knowing and in that giving. For in your showing up, you are giving love and a statement of your divine knowing. And it is that knowing that's going to make a difference for this planet in terms of climate change, for this planet in terms of transforming what appears to some of us as violence or ignorance or strife or civil unrest or whatever you call it, into the truth that is at its center. That is our truth, because there is only one truth, and that truth is love. That truth is goodness. That truth is kindness. That truth is caring. That truth is standing in our knowing and our presence. So I thank you for showing up here at the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. And I celebrate this presence with you. And I look forward to all of us joining in the social hall. And for those of us online, I thank you for showing up and being with us in this time. I send you all love and gratitude, and everyone gratitude. Thank you. Please say with me, and so it is.
You here on the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well. Their father's hell did slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams. The one they pick, the one you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So look at them and sigh, and know they love you. And you of tender years can't know the fears that your elders grew by. And so please help them with your youth. They seek the truth before they can die. So teach your parents well. Their children's hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams. The one they pick, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh. Ooh. And know they love you. Let it grow, let it grow. Let it blossom, let it flow. In the rain, the sun, the snow. Love is lovely, so let it flow.